What's going on, everybody? Richie here, Hybrid Athletics. Sipping my green tea, promoting fat loss. Plus the head's shaved, so you know I mean business. But anyways, I wanted to talk today about unilateral movements for lower body, specifically, versus bilateral movements like barbell movements for lower body. Some of the pros and cons, because it is a debate within the fitness community. Some people are saying that unilateral movements are just a waste of time. Shouldn't even be performing them, and that they can't build your legs, and they won't build strength. So I wanted to just touch on that topic, give my thoughts and some of my insight and my experience with unilateral movements versus barbell movements. For the last year and a half, I would say that unilateral movements has made up probably 75% of my leg training overall. And there's a few reasons for this. One, I was training mostly to increase my vertical, right? So not overall strength. And I wasn't training to lift the heaviest amount of weight, and I wasn't training to be a power lifter, and I wasn't training to be a bodybuilder. So training for vertical, I've been utilizing a lot of lighter weights, unilateral moves, and moves that focus on stability, because the more stable the leg is, the more horsepower you're able to generate without it being lost, right? You're not leaking horsepower. So stability, balance has been really my main focus. I've been using moves like single leg Romanian deadlifts, step ups, pistol box squats, lunges. And I also use some bilateral leg movements as well. I do dumbbell Romanian deadlifts, goblet squats, and front rack squats. And in addition to that, I do jumping. So box jumps, speed, footwork, agility, ladder drills, split squat jumps, and then just max effort vertical jumps. So, from my experience with that, I would say that I have definitely built muscle doing that. Do I have bodybuilder legs? Hell no. No, not even close. Powerlifting strength? No, not even close. But I have a lean, shredded, explosive lower body. And like I said, primarily what I use to train my lower body is unilateral movements. So if someone's going to say that unilateral movements can't build strength or muscle, that's incorrect. But there is an argument to both sides. If you want to build overall strength, overall mass, I think that barbell moves are superior. So really, it's going to come down to your goals, right? If you want to be as strong as possible, you're never going to lift as much weight with one leg as you will with two legs, right? That's really simple. Like, everybody can understand that. But it doesn't mean that unilateral movements don't have their own benefits and aren't superior to bilateral movements in certain ways. In fact, I think if you're talking about athletic performance, if you're not doing unilateral movements, I think you're missing out on untapped potential. Because when in sports are you ever going to be lined up with both feet standing completely even, right? And be able to just go down, do a squat and push up. You're usually going to be off balance, running, moving, moving laterally, side to side. There's not a whole lot of times where you're going to be with both your feet completely on the ground in a perfect setup position. So, if you're an offensive lineman, yeah, you're gonna, you're pushing up against, another giant human being, and you're gonna have both feet planted on the ground. That's your job. So it makes sense to, train primarily with barbell movements, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't benefit from unilateral training. I'm sure they incorporate some unilateral training, but it's something like that where it requires brute strength. Yeah, I would recommend, the focus be on barbell movements. Like I said, I'm not against two-leg training, but for me and my goals, I know that I have built up a decent amount of strength, balance, and stability from using unilateral moves. Another argument I'd like to make is that not everyone can safely perform barbell movements, right? Bilateral barbell movements. Not everyone can safely perform a back barbell squat because they lack the ankle mobility, hip mobility, or to get into those positions. So I know I can't safely perform a back barbell squat without squat shoes, right? I need the heel lift to be able to go ass to grass. So if you can't safely perform the move, what should you do? What's your options? Well, you could just try to do it and get injured, or you can take the time to do the mobility, which is what I recommend. But who knows how long it could take? I've been working on it for years. I've been working on my ankle mobility and hip mobility for years, So for the last couple of years that I've been working on the mobility, and I'm getting better. It's getting better. But for those last couple of years, should I have just not done any resistance training for my lower body? Because even though I can't safely perform a back barbell squat, I could do step-ups, I could do lunges, I could do single leg Romanian deadlifts, I could jump, I could do all these. So should I say, oh, well, better just do mobility since barbells movements are what's going to really build strength and just not work on it at all? No, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Meanwhile, the last couple of years, I've been able to develop stability. I've been able to, while working on my mobility, I've been able to develop balance. I still have been growing. My legs are growing. My glutes are growing. My girlfriend can't even walk by me without trying to smack my ass, because that's the point that my glutes have gotten to. My quads are shredded and feathered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have feathers in the teardrop, especially getting to a lower body fat percentage. So, I got up to a point where I had a 41-inch running vertical. Are these not clear benefits, and this is mostly from unilateral training. Should I just have not done that and been like, no, I can only do barbells? No, of course not. So I would say if you can't safely perform the movements, it's almost like you have to do unilateral training until you can safely perform them. Now I feel like I've been doing that for a while, and I want to get back into barbell movements, though. So what's the carryover from doing these unilateral moves to barbell moves? That's the real question, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But I just wanted to give some insight into what I think about unilateral movements only for leg training. So I guess the main takeaway is that I think you should incorporate both unilateral moves and bilateral moves. If you can't safely perform barbell movements, I think that it's almost necessary that you use unilateral movements while you work on your mobility to be able to perform barbell moves. I do think barbell moves are superior for building overall strength and uh, overall muscle development. But I think that unilateral movements edge out barbell moves when it comes to developing stability and balance, and that you can still make muscle gains and strength gains while using unilateral moves. Work up to 185 pounds for single leg Romanian deadlifts. Tell me it's not going to grow your glutes. You know, it will. Simply put, it will. And I can tell you that from my own experience. Uh, work up to the point where you're doing lunges with 75-pound dumbbells or higher. It's going to grow your legs. Big surprise. It's going to grow your legs. You're doing, 75 pounds. You're doing, that's 150 pounds you're doing on one leg movements for, sets of 6 to 12 reps. You're going to grow your legs. It's really that simple. So, I don't think one is superior to the other, but I do think that each one has their pros, and both should be incorporated if possible. And if not possible, and you can only safely perform unilateral movements, you can still make gains. That's my takeaway from the situation. Now, like I said, what's the carryover from unilateral to bilateral? And I'm going to answer that question in another video, because I'm getting back into doing conventional deadlifts and barbell back squats. So I'll let you know how it goes. But until then, if you like this video, go ahead, leave me a like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the box below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or you can leave me a comment on Instagram at Hybrid Athletics, and I'll get back to you there. All right, take it easy. I'll talk to you next time.